Minister for Health, Dr. Ruth Aceng, presented a summary death report of the late Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanya, before the House, stating multi-organ failure as the main cause of death.
The immediate cause of death was multi-organ failure. The heart failed, the lungs failed, the liver failed, and the kidney failed. The liver started failing while he was still here in Uganda, as well as the lungs that had started collecting fluid. The heart started failing while in Seattle, as well as the kidneys. He had multiple infections, bacterial infections, which were discovered here, and viral infections that were discovered in Seattle.
Aceng also stated that, due to the treatment of multiviral infections, the Speaker's bone marrow was suppressed.
This was a consequence of total bone marrow suppression, which we call pancytopenia. In other words, his bone marrow could no longer produce red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets, and he lived on blood and platelets every day. All this resulted from progressive, recurrent, diffuse, large B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That is the cancer.
The minister also informed the House that there were also contributory conditions that led to the death of the Speaker.
He had a lymphatic system depletion. The Right Honourable Speaker lost his spleen while he was in Makerere, and I'm sure many of you are aware about this. It is the spleen, and my brother Right Honourable Kotogong, allow me to correct you, it is not the pancreas. You cannot live without a pancreas. It was the spleen. He had a splenectomy following that riot. So he didn't have a spleen, which is also an organ that manufactures blood cells, white, red, and so on. He also had challenges with stem cell, which had a poor immune response because of chemotherapy. He started having gastrointestinal bleeding, or bleeding into the abdomen, because of lack of platelets. He could not stop the bleeding. He had multi-drug resistant bacteria, and this was Klebsiella pneumoniae, which is usually hospital acquired when you stay in a hospital for too long. And the virus was cytomegalovirus, which affected him.
She also unveiled a brief genesis on how the late Jacob Oulanya's illness started.
In 2019, he discovered a swelling in the neck. It was a relatively big swelling, and he took it upon himself to seek medical attention in Germany. The swelling was removed and analyzed, and he was told it was a cancer. And later on I will summarize what the cancer was. He was started on treatment, which he finished in Uganda Cancer Institute. He subsequently visited several other hospitals because of the same, but we also had challenges during the lockdown and during the elections when he was not able to be in hospital.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.